And we're back. Unbreak faster. So weirdly enough, I have it set up where I can stream on the Death or Glory stream, just in case something happens to Brad. And I'm starting to try to stream on what's it called? I want to start streaming more on my own personal page, just to help me get models built faster. And even though it was connected to my account, it was only showing the Death or Glory account for some reason. This software is so buggy. That's the long and short of it. It is a very buggy software. Um, so yeah, we did manage to crash the stream. I'm proud of us, and I'm just working on editing the cameras so we can go back to jumping back and forth like we were doing. Do 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 do.
Guess who's back?
Brad would be proud of us crashing the stream.
He would.
I actually haven't heard from him. I mean, I know he lost this game today, but all right.
Well, he's probably busy having fun with friends, you know?
Having fun with friends.
I know. Playing Tiny Toy Soldiers? The worst.
There you go. All right. Cool. And we're back. You didn't even need Brad's help to crash it today. Yep.
We did not need Brad's help to crash it last time either. We did it all on our own. Daddy must be proud.
I mean, Brad is old enough to be both of our dads.
Is he though?
He is. We've had this conversation before.
My dad is like 10 years older than him, and my parents had me when they were 20 something.
You're assuming that Brad waits till his 20s.
Well.
That's a bold assumption there, Eloise.
Well. So whomever is watching that, don't take any paint advice from me. I am painting in a way to get it done, and in a way to not give a rat's ass as long as the colors are here and it looks good enough.
You say that, but you put infinitely more effort into it than half the people on Death or Glory. And you go to tournaments and you win like best painted.
It's because I have mean bases and I have boobs. No. The thing is...
What do you mean YouTube is not receiving enough video in order to...
Oh.
How do we fix that?
So it happened before...
Is this where I have to go plug everything in? We can close that down.
Bred Teen and Pregnant could be a good Lifetime movie. It 100% would. So I genuinely do not know if it comes from the computer who is making the sound of a plane taking off,
It's a possibility.
or if it comes from the network. So we are going to first try with the computer. Oh shit, it's hot. Yeah, it needs to. It needs to breathe. There you go. Should be better.
So you think it just wasn't generating enough RAM because it's overheating?
That you don't generate RAM, but yes.
So our laptop's trying to explode. That'd be cool. That'd be one way to buy a new computer for us. Not the preferred method.
It is slightly out of warranty, like only 6 years.
Using the best of technologies to do a stream.
Let's be honest.
It still works.
Using the best of technologies available for free.
Yeah. Alright, bolter. This one.
Mr. Probability, you watched throughout basically the whole weekend of the stream. Who are you? Oh.
I mean, it's a good point. I actually have no idea who you are either, so I see your name all the time. Introduce yourself.
Like, my name is Andy. Oh, Andy!
No, Andy has the Greek god name.
Andy Mignon.
Yeah. Alright.
I do not like painting. I do not like painting.
Alrighty. Well, so now I need to figure out if I want to put a skull right there. There's not really enough space for that, so we'll probably just won't do that.
Do you want to take the big camera so that you can...
Let's see. The computer's still really hot. Do you think you should give it a break?
No, I think it being propped up, it will slowly cool down.
Nice.
Ah.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Hunter's a cool dude. I was hanging out with him at Rocky Top back in Memorial Day weekend. He was rocking with the Space Wolves. I'm actually really impressed with how fast and how quickly the Death or Glory team has grown. Like, it just seems to me like a year ago it was only like 50 people. Now I don't even know how many people are on the team. It's at least 100. Probably should figure that out.
I don't know if impressed in the word. I'm scared.
You're scared?
I don't like people.
We had like 10 people over our house, though.
But I knew them.
Fair. Alright, so all my bolters have skulls on them. That's cool.
I keep head bumping the light.
Proud of you.
Up. There you go.
Alright, let's transition over to here. Yeah.
I really like this model.
The Inquisitor?
She's not an Inquisitor. She's a Repentia Superior.
She's clearly an Inquisitor. She's an Inquisitor from a third-party company.
She's 100% a Repentia Superior.
Do you have all the eyes carved off, or no? Do you just on?
The eyes?
The Inquisition eyes? Alright, these guys are...
Sisters have eyes. Like, look at her. Look at the middle of her torso.
That is it's an eye, yeah.
Sisters have the Inquisitor eye everywhere.
Did you dry brush black over that?
Absolutely not.
Okay. You know the black's different than everyone.
Yeah.
Black. Okay. Yeah, just making sure.
For this is the amount of fuck I give. I just want them painted to move on.
Well, how much black shows? Not much, right?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
You should be okay. You haven't met most of the DOG crew? I mean, realistically, it makes sense. Most of them are based up in Ohio and Michigan. I knew a lot of the people who are currently on the team before Death or Glory was even a thing. I found out back in 2016, I was supposed to be on Tom's ATC team.
All right.
Yeah. So he's like, Tom last year messaged me. He's like, Brandon, do we meet before? And I'm like, no, Tom, I've never met you before. Like, Why do you say that? He's like, well, I found some emails and your name was on them, so we were chatting, and he sent me screenshots, and he's like, were we on a team together? I'm like, I don't remember you, Tom. You're a big boy. Like, I think I would know, if we were on a team together or not. So it turns out we were supposed to be on an ATC team back in 2016, but my job wouldn't let me go, so I had to drop last minute.
Oh, that sucks.
So I would have met Tom a long time ago. Back when Tom was apparently a bodybuilder.
And back when you were...
You know what the biggest bummer of that was? I'm pretty sure they won first place that year. They either won first place or they placed in the top 3. I forget.
Good on them. Maybe they would not...
Well, they found someone last minute who didn't know how to play. So, yeah. So, and back in 2016, I was doing pretty good.
Are you going to ATC, Mr. Probability?
Yeah. But if you are going to ATC this year, we actually, as far as I'm aware, there's 20 of us who are going. If not more.
Because if yes, we'll meet you there.
But if you're going to ATC, we'll meet you there. We'll actually have a cabin. We'll be doing a cookout for all DOG members. We can't invite too many people over.
Because last year we did and it ended up...
Well, they actually put a cap on how many people we can have over. Like, having 1 or 2 extra people over is one thing. Having 30 people over is another.
Who put a cap? The people...
No, the Airbnb did.
Did we ruin their Airbnb that bad last year?
Well, we're staying at a different Airbnb.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have different rules.
I thought we were staying at the same Airbnb. I'm super confused right now. I thought there was a conversation.
Oh, there was a conversation. So we were going to be staying at the infamous cow Airbnb where the Moo crew found their patron saint of the cow painting, which is still the creepiest painting ever. It could see into your soul at any angle and just judged you in period. But that particular location only had room and board for 10 people. Well, we have 2 more Death or Glory teams going. And because there's 2 more Death or Glory teams going, we all wanted to hang out in one particular place. So we just switched cabins. So there's going to be 20 people in one cabin. You can't make it. So I went to Lone Star Open once. It's a pretty good time. Since you're going, you need to say hi to my buddy Thomas. Thomas Reedy.
Since you're going, you need to say hi to our friends. I'm a troll. Don't listen to what I'm saying.
My buddy Thomas lives down in Texas, and he's going there. He actually does the artwork for all of the Frontline Gaming events and a lot of the other tournaments. He designs their logos that they put on like the poker chips on the objective markers.
He designed the Still Frosty Gaming logo.
Yeah, he designed my logo too. He designed the
Brown Eye of Terror.
Brown Eye of Terror objective markers that we were using
Brown Eye of Terror.
during the streaming weekend.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace? What do you mean rest in peace?
You joined Death or Glory. You killed Brown Eye of Terror.
I did not. We have holographic stickers that say otherwise.
They're pretty cool.
Here, we'll do that. You know how we should have like introductions and stuff that show
Hello,
like production studios and everything?
Hello, my name is Eloise, and I am the only member of Brown Eye of Terror because my husband left me.
That's not correct. That's not correct for several reasons. You know that, right?
Please enlighten me.
Neil is a part of Brown Eye of Terror.
But does he play as Brown Eye of Terror? That's the question.
Yes and no. So he does play with the objective markers, but they don't have the same team ranking thing that they have here because he's in Sweden. And then we also have the Brown Eye of Terror objective markers. Actually, let me pull off the the plastic.
Take it out of the wrapper. So yeah, LSO was pretty fun. They have a bar in the hotel, and I got bored because it was, I believe, the second or third tournament that I was attending with you, and I was not playing at the time, and I did not know a lot of people at the time, and someone cheated you, and alcohol plus someone doing wrong by my husband turned me into a bear, a mama bear.
You were a mama bear. It was actually really funny.
I mean, people still remember it as super funny. So
Yeah. There's a reason why you're the mom of Death or Glory.
while I was super pissed.
So actually, going back to the conversation. So on Brown Eye of Terror, you have me.
Mm-hmm.
You have you.
I don't have you. You don't play as Brian Eye of Terror. You play as Death of Glory.
We have Greg Sparks.
Sparks doesn't play either.
But he's still a member. We have Neil, and we have Shirtless Bob.
Shirtless Bob doesn't play as
He
Brian
does.
He doesn't play as Brian Eye of Terror.
He's
either.
not in this country. This is the only country that does BCP.
Okay.
He uses the objective markers. He's taken that. Okay. Shirtless Bob. That's not his real name. But Shirtless Bob.
No! Shirtless Bob is not a real name.
So, he travels around the world a lot because of his profession. And he sends me pictures of those objective markers and the stickers and dice anytime he plays 40K.
That's pretty cool.
So they've been in Sweden, they've been in England, they've been in Germany, they've been in the Middle East. So he represents really well.
Am I tripping? Come here.
Okay.
Am I tripping or is that an octopus tentacle? I had no plan on painting an octopus tentacle.
I would say that is an octopus tentacle.
I do not know how to integrate octopus tentacle in my undead sister's army.
He wants to sign up as Brown Eye of Terror. Okay, Brown Eye of Terror, hands down, is the funniest team name ever.
So, Brian Eye of Terror is because when I started playing, I didn't want to play in turn 1 at tournaments. So we had to be part of the same team. And at this time, we were not on Gentleman Gaming or Death of Glory or anything like that. So we decided to choose a random team name.
That team name is not random.
And amongst all of his former team names that he's had in the past, the most funny was Brian Eye of Terror. So we are now Brian Eye of Terror.
So, one of the most fun weekends I would say we've had playing 40K. Last year, back in February, I had a invitational tournament in my basement.
It wasn't for you, I was dead.
What's that?
It was fun for you, I was dead.
I mean, that's part of the reason why it was fun now. Because everybody died. So, we had an invitational tournament in my basement. We had 5 tables set up. We didn't do any streaming or anything. We just wanted to play games. And I just gave some rules. So the rules of the tournament were you had to bring a fluffy army. So you had to bring something that was decidedly bad. Like, not good competitive lists, but just bad armies. And
those units that you would love to play, but they are so not competitive that you never get to play them.
So, for example, my army consisted of just Kroot, I ran 60 Kroot, 36 Kroot Hounds, 9 Krootoks, 3 individual broadsides three individual broadsides, and just some random ass characters and stuff. But everybody was Kroot themed. Uh, Bill Kim ran the Vanguard Detachment Strike Force for Space Marines, where it improved all the Phobos armor guys, but it was by far the worst detachment in the game. And like Brad came in the day before. He fell asleep in my nerd room, and I told him that we needed a list. So he literally pointed at all the shelves of the gaming room in which he could see because he's so short, so the bottom shelves, and he picked his army based off the models that he could physically saw. So he just went in a straight line like this and added all those squads. So he just got a random list with like a single Thunderwolf, a Thunderfire cannon, one Thunderfire cannon, one Razorback, 5 scouts. It was a very creative way to make an army list. I'll say that. But we had 10 people over.
Yeah.
And we had some very fluffy armies. We had one guy who brought nothing but drop pods.
Yeah.
So everything was in a drop pod. So
Love Kramer.
Kramer, aka the guy with the robe at all the tournaments up here, he brought an Ultramarines list, and everything was in a drop pod. And I don't think you're legally allowed to do it, but what we said is if you put everything in the drop pod, we'll let you play it. So he put everything in the drop pod. So he started the game with nothing on the table. Everything was in the drop pod, and then he played against me, where I have my entire army infiltrating and making scout moves, and I was able to push back his entire drop pod army to deploy within 6 inches in the backfield of his deployment zone.
Mm-hmm.
Fun time. He was like, "Wow, this is bad." So we had to bring fluffy armies, and the other caveat was we gave awards for drinking. So if you were able to drink water or water, pop, or booze, you can add that to your overall score, as long as you didn't get sick.
And that's why I lost the tournament.
So
because I was on my way to win, sir.
Like most Death or Glory events, we like to have fun. We like to party. 40K as a whole, in my opinion, isn't the most competitive game. It's actually really not balanced, especially now with the new introduction 10th edition rules. It's the community that we're hanging out with and spending time with. And we love the community, and we love the storytelling and the shit talking and all that. So everyone came in the day before, and we stayed until 3 drinking. All of us were just trashed even before the event even started. And then, to make things worse, Eloise had to drop because she was too drunk to play one turn of her game. Her very first game.
I was not drunk. I was,
slightly inebriated.
No, I was sick. I was, hugging Mother Throne.
And then Brad got sick. And then Matt Tarantine got sick.
Everybody got sick.
Just because, we decided drinking was fun. And we even ordered food the night before, so I don't know why people were that drunk. It was actually really impressive.
I mean, I was speaking French to Brad and Kramer, and they were answering to me.
We do have pictures of Brad getting his nails done. They were beautiful. He did rainbow nails.
Yeah, the community is pretty cool. Now, for having...
Hey, Sean's on. Your warsuit's like a sister's paint scheme.
Hey, yeah! They're getting there.
Oh, they look like his paint scheme.
Really? Oh, shit.
Sean, text me a picture of what you got.
That's what I don't know if you can see.
Can't, you're too. Lower it. Sean, text me a picture of that scheme. I want to show it.
That's what my scheme looks like. I don't know if you can see. You're on the wrong angle. There you go. blue, black, and gold, which I'm sure is a.
I actually don't think it's that common.
No, because people are Nazi and they want you to paint them like the order colors and.
That doesn't make them Nazis. That just makes them not creative.
People are extremely dedicated to the rules.
You know, I'm actually proud of Brenton. Brenton, when I first met Brenton, he was super proud of the fact that his army was painted and built exactly like it was on the box.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's cool, Brenton, but this is a hobby of creativity. You should, do your own thing, like convert them and paint them however you want. And now he's messaging me and showing me pictures of the Eldar army he airbrushed in like no time at all, and
Nice.
asking for feedback. It's come out really well. Oh, there you go. Sean's sending pictures. Yeah, it's actually pretty similar.
Shit, it is. It is. You know what, Mr. Rice? Great minds think alike. So, yeah, Mr. Rice, before you walked in, we were talking about how imbalanced the game is, and the only thing that makes it fun is the people.
So speaking of people coming to ATC, Sean is coming to ATC. And starting here, hopefully in the near future, Sean and I are going to start doing some battle reports.
I still want to play, especially if I go to ATC. I still want to put in some games at some point, and probably tomorrow. Why did I put all the gold on the blue?
We could practice. We could record it and all that and see how it goes. We can see how bad of a... Oh, we made a mistake. What are you looking for?
Either a Q-tip or one of the foamy brushes.
Foamy brushes are over there. Q-tips are all upstairs. We don't have any Q-tips down here.
No, the small foamy brushes. With the black handle and the white Q-tip. Yay!
Those are foam? I thought they were plastic. Oh, those. Okay. We need to buy some more of those.
You like it?
Actually, I like not those ones, the ones with the tips that are replaceable. Like, they're just very fine and I can fuck them up and don't feel bad about fucking them up.
Fair. Lizard, I'm going to put my feet underneath.
Here, I'm going to text pictures of Sean so you can actually see.
Well, take a picture of the army, not of
Oh,
the...
yeah, you have the one guy, right?
That's the one. That's the only one who is painted.
Yeah, well, we're going to...
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
There you go.
Doobie-doo, how did we paint you? The hardest parts about painting your army 6 months after you stop painting your army is trying to remember what color you could wear.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Hey, Sean, since our army are so look-alike, maybe we can maybe we can do trades.
We were going over Eloise's sister list and how we would improve it, and apparently we found a character who gives...
Astrid and Agathe, I guess.
Yeah, they give mortal wounds in combat to whatever unit they join. And Sacrosants aren't bad. I mean, they at least might get there. I mean, they're -1 to wound because you have the character attached.
And the other one, since it's a pair,
You know,
the other one give them 5 up feel no pain.
that seems pretty solid. I would take that.
How much are they instead of the canoness?
Well, you're taking 3 units. Look, moving forward.
I 100% am because I am taking down. What am I taking down?
I don't know.
just keep adding.
Just keep adding. Like, my list is 2,700 points. I feel
And
like
I'm still losing because
you're
sisters
still losing.
suck.
All right, we're playing a game tomorrow. You know that, right? What?
You just wish Canoness could join sex with Hospitalier. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. That she can join only basic.
It's such a dumb rule. Like, no other army has the. I don't understand what they were doing when they decided to build these codexes out. Like, they're just so random rules. Like, one of the ones that I just find really annoying, besides the fact that there's still a separation of firstborn and primaris, even though they said that was going away, is the fact that, hey, my captain, he has to have equipment A, B, and C in order to join this unit.
Really?
Yes, it makes no sense. You know why it makes no sense? Because the lieutenant doesn't have that same restriction. So you can join whatever lieutenant with whatever equipment to whatever squad he's able to attach, but the captain, the Primaris captain, has to have, if he's joining Hellblasters, he has to have a plasma pistol and a storm shield. If he's joining Blade Guard, he has to have this equipment. And I'm like, that's so dumb. Why? This is not a real rule. Get out of here. I'm hoping the Space Marine Codex fixes that.
Well, the Sisters Codex might come out in 12 years and a half.
It's going to be out before 12 years and a half.
9 years?
I'll say 2. I think 2. Right before 11th edition drops.
Seems legit. Why only sisters? So, and that's a question that I keep asking myself, Sean. Just because it's the only army that I can decently-ish play. Anytime GW tries to nerf something, they nerf sister on the way down. And I'm always pondering, what did sisters do to GW to deserve that much?
Not enough revenue generated.
That's not very nice. So yeah, what did sisters do to piss off GW people? Or did one of them date a sisters player and now they want to punish them because it ended up badly? Like, I genuinely don't have the answer.
Yeah, you think that's the reason? I mean, that's as good of a reason as any. I don't know.
It feels like a therapeutic harassment,
It feels like, to me, there's certain units and armies that just generate more revenue. And those are the ones that get prioritized with codex releases and units being improved. Like Space Marines. Like, I can guarantee Space Marines will always have one of the first 2 codexes in any edition launch. Because that's the historical trend. Just because of how popular they are and how much money they generate, and sisters probably don't generate enough money. But on the flip side, if they had good rules, people would buy them.
I mean, we dropped, I don't know, $140 on a Sanctum for it to not be a thing anymore.
That's so annoying, by the way.
Reap Sanctum.
That's so annoying. Like, why? Games Workshop, why? I mean, I guess I kind of get it because all the terrain features that were included can be destroyed, and Sisters actually aren't the only army that lost a terrain feature. Orcs lost a terrain feature.
Profit margin of towering model must be pretty good.
I honestly think that's the reason why they're not changing towering. I think they have a very high profit margin on them. And
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know how much one of those knights cost?
No.
$170.
Shit! Really?
Yes. Because we were looking at Wraith Knights for you. And it was $175. It's the same way why I like Land Raiders. So, in my mind, a Land Raider is the same damn kit that came out all the way back in like 2003. It
Mm-hmm.
hasn't changed. It is the same damn thing. Sure, the weapons are gun or plastic now. When the Land Raider Crusader came back out back in the day, they were metal. I mean, but that's just because they moved away from pewter, right? They moved everything to plastic. But it's the same kit. It hasn't
They had
changed.
pewter Land Raider. How heavy was it?
Uh,
Like you put that in a sock, you can knock some people down.
you're not wrong. So I don't think they ever had a pewter Land Raider, but they had pewter weapons on the Land Raider,
Good.
which is a
That
slight
that
difference.
actually is reassuring because otherwise, how do you play it? Like,
Well, but they did have a metal venerable dreadnoughts,
strong.
which were hefty.
Was Pinky the Dreadnought a metal?
No, he was
Venerable?
plastic. He was plastic.
Disappointing. I've heard so much about Pinky. I kind of wish I'd meet him one day.
I don't know where he is. I miss Pinky. I brought him to a tournament with me once. You would love the paint scheme. Huh?
So I may or may not have tried to take the paint bottle that was holding. Oops.
Oops. Alright, let's transition away from Eloise fixing the camera. Alrighty.
Can you put it on the other screen, please? Like that, like reverse the two.
It's on this one right now.
Yes. Can you please reverse so that I can see what I'm doing?
I just like slam.
Can
Right here. Oh.
But I cannot see because everything is in the way. Can you please reverse the
Thanks.
screen? Thank you. There you go.
I'm proud of you.
I'm trying to be a good Bible Belt wife and be modest and all, you know.
Yes, because you were raised in the Bible Belt of France.
Actually, I was, but that's neither here nor there. Why does it not? Well, close enough. Close enough is good enough.
Here, we can do this. We can do. There you go.
Yay! Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, you can also put the screen on you, you know? I'm a
Well,
terrible
I
painter.
just said that. There you go. There you go.
I'm a terrible painter. I don't think anyone should be looking at for advice or tips.
You do like picking certain colors that match, though. Eloise has won Best Painted awards. Don't let her fool you. They may be only at local events, but she's won Best Painted.
It's because I have boobs.
And Best Sportsmanship.
It is 100% because I have boobs.
So, yeah, I had two Venerable Dreadnoughts that were metal, and when they came out the new plastic kit, I actually sold them off to a guy in Australia who was super excited to have the Judge Dredd looking Venerable Dreadnought. Like, he just loved the look of them, and I was just happy to send them out to him. Back when shipping wasn't $500 to send us something to Australia. So how's that Storm Surge coming along? I feel like I should call you in, and you can, like... There you go. That's it. A win is a win. See? Sean says a win's a win.
I mean, I'll take it. I'll take my store credit.
You're competing with Nathaniel.
I will just do the hand since people will see the face. For sportsmanship or for painting?
I mean, you beat him on both so far, so...
It is not very nice. Stop making fun of the people.
I'm not. I'm just saying that when you play, people like your painting, and you have conversions, you have a nice display board, you have nice bases, you have a bold color scheme that stands out. People like it. That's the long and short of it.
Talking about display board, you still owe me a display board.
I still owe you a display board.
Right.
Well, we should plot that out.
There you go. Because otherwise I cannot see the light.
I cannot see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Why am I painting the Canoness? I will not use her.
Because she looks cool? I don't know.
The right answer is because we are painting all the units before moving on to another army.
Because you're painting all the units before moving on to another army, Eloise. That's why you're painting the Canoness.
Yeah, but it feels like a pain in the... I did not locate her on her base in a way that is conclusive to an easy paint.
Took a break to walk my dog before it starts raining here, but I'm a slow builder. I cut all the pieces out for one of the shoulders and was cleaning them up. Yeah.
Brendan, you're a quick builder.
Am I?
You are.
I don't think I am. I think I'm actually going pretty slow, to be honest with you. I haven't personally built these models before, so I'm just not following the instructions and trying to figure out how they get put together.
Legit. How many army did you start painting and or building the day before the event that you wanted to play the army at? Like within the last 24 hours?
You mean...
Just in the last year. Just in the last 12 months.
That's annoying. Hold on.
The fact that it's more than once tells me that you're a fast builder and fast painter.
Let's see. In last year, I did... Well, I guess we should go last 2 years, probably. Why are you being annoying?
The only army that I know for sure was finished before we went to the event was your army for LVO 2 years ago. And it's because we had to fly 24 hours before.
We were there well before 24 hours. All right, let's think about this for a minute. So, during COVID, I took off a break because there were no tournaments and I was really busy with work. And then I met Eloise. Even before COVID, I wasn't really building or painting any models. And then I met Eloise, who said, "Hey, Brandon, I want you to pursue your hobbies again. They bring you joy.
And be a happy human being."
And be a happy human being. So...
Such a monster.
What a monster. So... The Illinois event? The Illinois event, I had to build a whole bunch of models before that.
Armed Forces?
The Armed Forces GT in Rockford, Illinois. I had to build models before that, like that week.
It was my first time meeting everybody.
No, you met Brad beforehand.
Yeah, but not Alan and
Yeah.
Sneaks and Aaron and everybody.
Yeah. Let's see. Then after that, Michigan GT, where he rebased the entire army to make it legal.
Yes.
So that was done several days before Michigan GT, so that's 2. And then Lone Star.
That was not done.
It was.
I remember painting the night of.
For Lone Star?
No, for Michigan GT.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were painting the night of. And then for Lone Star, everything was painted prior because we were flying down there. I had it all done for Armed Forces because I took the same exact list. But then we went to Frogtown and I built an entire display board in 3 days. Built and painted a display board in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool. And then that was it.
I'm not a fast builder.
Last year, built 2,000 points of Blood Angels and painted them with Eloise's help in a week while moving to Tennessee. That was pretty impressive, not gonna lie. There's literal movers at the house, and I'm like building models in the garage.
You guys can pack everything else. I will just need that.
I had like a little bag. My entire car was full of just hobby supplies because I went to the hotel room and I finished building all the Vanguard veterans and Death Company because we sold our house in Indiana and moved to Tennessee in late July. So that was fun. What else? So I did Blood Angels, and then I did Tau for Glass City this year. But with Tau, it was already built. I just had to finish painting it. But I did paint the entire army. And then we did... So that's what, 5? 3? I lost count.
Should I let the dogs out before the word ends?
Doggy Apocalypse? Yeah, probably.
Allons, ballon jardin. I'll let you switch the screen back to you.
Yeah.
Oh, it is already on you.
It's already on me. Yeah.
Allons, ballon jardin.
Go outside, guys.
Tout le monde dans le jardin. Zozo, allez. Zoe. Ooh, big stretch. Ooh, big stretch. Ooh la la. Allez. Ooh, big stretch. Ooh la 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 la. Ooh la 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 la. Allez, viens. Viens, mes Zozo.
So yeah, so I think like 6, 7 times before I did it. I'm powered by procrastination. So anytime there's a tournament coming up, I usually like force myself to get an army done or get some squads painted or rebased or build a brand new display board for everybody. And I enjoy it. I enjoy the procrastination and just the, hey, I need to get this done and this is my time frame in which I need to do it. So I have built and painted 2 armies in the last year that I had to do from scratch, like days before the event started, and several display boards and rebasing projects because I had procrastinated on upgrading all my Space Marines from 30 or 25 millimeters to 32 millimeters. But it's all good. That's why I'm working on this stuff now. I actually need to build models for whatever list I'm taking to ATC. I don't have a list for ATC yet. Maybe Sean can help me with a list. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. So one thing that I plan on doing, I probably won't do it tonight on stream because of how noisy it is, but with these flamer dudes, I plan on drilling this out right here, and I'm going to put a piece of brass rod in it to extend, and then I'm either going to use a hot glue gun or some green stuff to model some 3D flames coming out the barrel. I feel like one, it would add a lot of character to the models, and two, it allowed me to do some object source slating on the back of the flamer where I can hand dry brush some yellow and oranges over here. But it would allow the model just to be more dramatic. Um, I don't know if I'll do it with every single one or if I'll do it with just a handful, but I think it would look pretty cool with the brass rod sticking out right there. I tried it. I actually converted a model for my good friend Justin Cook where I had met him back in 2006 and I was playing Tau and he was playing Tyranids and we had a very epic game. And my all my Tau models are converted like Kroot. So I painted a little diorama for him where all the Tyranid models were painted in his color scheme, and all the Tau models were painted in my color scheme. And I had the Crisis Suit Commander with a flamer, and I used that technique to extend the flame, and it looked really good. It was a very neat effect, and I want to do it on this squad because this is actually the first unit of all flamers that are reasonable size that I've ever built. I've had a couple metal units of flamers that I mean I've used once or twice, but I haven't. Flamers have been kind of bad for a long time for Space Marines. Now, if we're talking about warp spiders, those are amazing. So, yeah, I think the project for tomorrow or maybe later tonight is drilling in brass rod, bending it out, and putting some green stuff or hot glue. Hot glue probably is easier, just to sculpt in some flames. Um, if I do hot glue, it's way faster, and if I was really creative, I could use LEDs to backlight it, but I'm not going to do that. That sounds like way too much work. All right. So I have never painted with an airbrush. Eloise bought an airbrush earlier this year, and she's been painting all of her Eldar models with it. I think she really enjoys it. It does speed up a lot of things, and I want to practice using it to paint some terrain and bases and stuff where precision painting isn't necessarily that important. Um, you do get some really nice effects. I just don't. I personally don't really like the look of airbrushing. I find it kind of flat. I like the textures and I like the shine and washes and contrasts. I just like the way it looks better to me. Um, but that's the thing about art; it's all subjective. So if you like the look of airbrushing and you are comfortable doing it and knocking out a whole entire army in one weekend with an airbrush, you certainly can. I would say it's pretty good for doing base coats and priming. All right, so Sean, hit me up with a list. Text me a list, either here or wherever. Brad is telling me that I should just play whatever list Brad came up with for Space Marines for ATC, which I own all the models. All I have to do is paint that. All I have to do is build and paint 20 Desolators. It just doesn't look fun. It looks mind-numbingly bad.
There's a lot happening outside for the dogs.
Yeah, is it doggy geddon out there?
It is bad. So we have
Is it a car racing?
a car racing.
Okay.
We have people shooting fireworks, and we have a thunderstorm.
Okay. I'm sorry, Zoe, but I don't think you'll be going potty for a couple hours.
It's not best day ever for the dogs.
Our dogs are a little afraid of loud noises.
Sorry, did I barge into a conversation?
No. I'm asking Sean to message me a list. So when you're doing that base coating with the airbrush, I don't know what color scheme you're going with, but make sure you put zenithal highlights in them. And if you're doing like contrast paints, dude, it makes such a difference. Like, holy cow, you can do so much with texture and gradient with just a good base coat of black and white.
Yeah, that's how we do the Eldars.
Yeah.
I need to do them those by hand because I started doing all of the others by hand and I want them to match. But
like I did all my Tau Crisis suits like that, and there's a pretty big difference. Now you just got to make sure all the paint you're putting on said airbrush models with the gradient are thin enough to actually see the gradient. But if you're using contrast paints or shades, you can see it, and it pops. It looks really good.
Or an oil if you're old.
In oil. Have you painted with oils yet?
The blue oil. Where's she?
That's ink. It's not oil.
Ink. Sorry, not oil.
Yeah. What to say? I'm like, we don't have oils. We did make our own washes for terrain and everything.
Because it's a tenth of the price, and
It's way cheaper than a tenth of the price for the quantity that we're able to make. I wouldn't use it on models, but I'd use it on terrain. Looks fine.
So
I'm actually curious to see how many unread messages I have, because I know I have a bunch. No, I hear the thunder now.
Yeah, it's still getting them out there.
Do we want to put her in the cage so she doesn't panic and
ruin the house?
yeah?
Actually, we can put the
Oh, she's running now.
we can put the superhero vest on her.
There. You mean the slimming vest?
The superhero.
The slimming sexy vest that helps her not have a seizure when fireworks come? That's
The
one.
vest that makes her feel like a superhero because thunder and all of that, and she's not afraid.
I'm actually really impressed with that thunder vest.
Me too.
I never would have guessed that a random vest that we found on Amazon would allow our dog to be less terrified of fireworks. All right. Do 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 do.
She does feel like a superhero when she wears it. She's like, "Come at me, thunder!" Look, she's out here.
That's good.
Good girl.
That is a sexy vest you got on there, Zoe. Oh, hi, Tutu. Actually, what time is it? It's 7:38. I'm gonna transition to you, Eloise, and I'm gonna go feed the dogs.
Okay.
There you go. So you can chat. You still have one or two people watching. I don't know.
Alright. What do we talk about? Mr. Rice, if your sisters and my sisters are very similar color scheme, maybe we can trade, you know?
Zoe, come on.
Like, if you need retributors or if you need a unit that I have and vice versa, we can make a deal. Because let's be honest, you play competitive armies, and I doubt that. Let me move the mic closer. There you go. Up. I know that sisters will be competitive anytime soon in this edition. I wish for them to be. The dog walked back in the building. You can hear me? Ah. I was saying, so Mr. Rice, since our sister schemes are pretty similar, maybe we can trade. And when you need a unit, I can lend it to you and vice versa. I move closer to the mic so I don't know what you guys can see. A little bit of gold. There you go. I move the mic closer to this side of the room. Can I move it closer, like put it in the middle? Yeah. Contemplating how good I do at changing cameras. I will not try to move the mic. Because every time I try to do something we crash the stream, so let's not do that. I've got a lot now, but we're gonna get curry stuff. I'm super excited about getting an exorcist. With colored window and all of that. Hey, words are hard when I don't have Brendan to tell me the words that I forget. Alright, do you have enough gold? On this side? Yes, let's do that side. So yeah, should sisters ever become competitive in this edition, and if you want to borrow some, I do believe that once I'm done with that and Corey stuff when it gets here, I'll focus on Eldars, just because you recognize a good player on how well they deal with Eldars, because noobs like me don't do well with Eldars, so I want to learn how to do how to deal with Eldars so that I can pretend to know what I'm talking about. Yeah, and rhino conversions. Where is my rhino? Here. So that's a real Sisters rhino with a little bit of spike at the front. And that's a Space Marine rhino where we stuck all of the sister stuff on it. It's pretty easy to convert a normal rhino into sisters, whatever you want it to be. Eldor isn't exactly fair right now. Well, scorpions are pretty good. And the night spinner are... I just like the indirect tangle foot, you know? But maybe with a change of dynamic in the dice of fate, in the fate dice of fate, they will become a little bit more fair. They're actually more stringent on the fate dice now than they are on the miracle dice for sisters. Because sisters, you can use one miracle dice per unit per phase. Well, fate dice right now is just one per phase. So maybe it will even things out. Mr. Rice and I are making deals that we are going to lend each other a sister, since our color scheme are so similar.
Sounds like a pretty good deal to me. I put Zoe in the cage. She's so terrified she doesn't want to eat. So.
Oh shoot!
Our dog is motivated by one thing and one thing only, and it's disgusting. Just kidding.
And it's food.
She is so food driven, it's not even funny.
The only joy in her life is food.
So when she doesn't want to eat, you know something's up.
You know something bad is happening.
But
So you're done. You're done.
So to Sean's point, he doesn't think Eldar is very fair. I'll be honest. Even with the slight points increases, Eldar are still top tier.
Really?
So Brett, we all made the bold assumption that they were going to change fate dice in one way or another, and they changed it, so they nerfed it. But it's still pretty decent, right? Because you can use it on a 6 for leadership, or you can use it for 6 for damage.
Mm-hmm.
I think if anything, it frees up points because you're not taking Eldrad. Like, there's no point in taking Eldrad now. You don't need the extra 3 fate dice. We'll never use them. And the Wraith Knight, I don't think any really competitive player was taking 3 Wraith Knights. I think they were taking 1 max. Yeah. Well, you just drop him, and you just get so much more stuff. Like, holy cow, you get so much more, so many more things.
You know what I told you to not let me do last time I painted, which is don't let me stuck the models to the base until they are painted?
You really wanted to play them, though.
That's true. That's why I did that. Thank you. I'm like, why the hell did I do that again? Thank you for the reminder.
You're welcome.
I think there's a ton of fun ways to build Eldar that aren't ridiculous. Well...
Yeah, we were chatting like an hour ago. Like, actually, when we first started the first part of the stream before we crashed the system. Actually, the computer isn't on fire. That's good. But we were chatting, and like, the game's really fun when Towering, Indirect, and Mortal Wound spam aren't a thing. And there's definitely a digital divide on which armies are really competitive right now and which armies aren't. Like at the Salt City GT, the top, out of all the top undefeated and
I think
X1, like they're all like Eldar Knights. It's not really fun. It's not a lot of diversity.
Hey, do you remember at the back end of 10 when
9.
If at the back end of 9 where if you played good any faction then you had a chance to win? Pepperidge Forge.
Jesus. Pepperidge.
Pepperidge. Well, the old dude in the helicopter remembers.
I agree. I felt like we were at a really good meta where I could literally take whichever codex and I had a reasonable chance as a solid general to play and win. Or at least go, like X and 1.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case anymore. I think it's very rock, paper, scissors. Like, all right, well, I have this list. I could see across the entire table. Did you go first? Nope. All right, bad game for you. Oh, you went first? Bad game for me. Yeah. Like, that's not fun.
It feels a lot, and I don't know because I wasn't there, like 6th edition when everybody dropped because the game stopped being fun because it was just the first roll that counted.
I believe that was 7th edition, but 7th. Yeah.
Where everybody was dropping and selling their armies and Kramer bought.
So many armies. So 7th, the mechanics of 7th were fine. The 7th did have issues. I actually really like 7th edition. I actually played a lot of competitive 40k in 7th edition. So there were a couple of things why 7th failed.
Apparently Kramer bought some of Rice's army.
So 7th had 2 things wrong with it. The first thing that was wrong with it is that it was before Games Workshop gave a shit about fixing anything. So the tournament scene in Europe and the United States, they just made their own rule set, their own missions. So while it wasn't Games Workshop balancing, it was the community balancing, and I thought they did a pretty reasonable job. The thing that killed 7th edition was they started releasing these things called formations. And what a formation was is if you include X units, you get all these buffs.
Mm.
So, for example, one of those buffs were the Demi Battle Company for Space Marines. Your light's blocking now. There you go. And the Demi Battle Company for Space Marines was, hey, if you take 3 tactical squads, 2 Devastator squads, 2 fast attack choices, 2 HQ characters, and an elite choice, all their dedicated transports are free.
Wow.
So you had a 2,000 point Space Marine list that now had upwards of 500 extra points of tanks.
Nice.
It didn't include war gear or anything, so like if you wanted to pay for 100 killer missiles or upgrading their heavy bolter on the Razorback to a las cannon, you couldn't do that. But that was not great. And then the other one, I think the other one was you can ally in pretty much whomever, and a lot of people would just ally Tau. And there was a Riptide uh, formation where if you took 3 Riptides, they got all sorts of buffs like reroll hits and wounds and shit. And you could ally in any army. Like,
you did not have to be Imperium to
nah,
with
just whomever. Very unrestricted. And then I think at the very end is when you had Unleashed Gilliman when he was released, who was pretty fucking broken. Full rerolls to hit, and his sword was Strength D, which just means, hey, I wound you and you're dead. No save. No save, no feel, no pain, nothing. You're just dead.
Wow.
And then they had Ynnari. So you know how Ynnari is your most favorite army to play against?
Well, I'm quite sure that Ynnari is okay when they're played as per the book, you know?
So Ynnari back in 7th edition was, hey, anytime you did anything, we got to do something. So, for example, hey, you shot and killed one guy. The unit in which you shot and killed that guy gets to shoot you back. Hey, you fought this one guy in combat. Cool, they get to swing again.
That's pretty good.
And it was an army of all double actions. Like you could just do whatever, and they had to nerf it like 3 times because of how strong it was. Like you could double move, you could double shoot, double charge, double fight in combat. And it was just like if you literally do anything and they had line of sight, they were killing you because it would be units like Dark Reapers who were really good at the time. It's like, oh, you killed a Dark Reaper? All right, well, these 30 Dark Reapers are going to shoot you back and kill you.
Seems legit. They're pretty good at holding grudges.
I mean, I still think Games Workshop is punishing Chaos Space Marine players for 3.5 or edition 3.5 Chaos Space Marine Codex.
Was that why they didn't get a second one?
Maybe for a solid year where they only had 1 wound. All the Space Marines had 2, and like, hey, those Chaos Space Marine guys? Well, you only get 1 wound, guys. Sorry. That was actually really hilarious.
I mean, they chose the dark side. Choices be made.
Heretics.
So. So if I want to change my Eldar list, because once I'm done with those, I will not do the 3 Arcoflagellant. Let's be honest, I will never use the Arcoflagellants.
Is it 3 or 4?
Well, I own 3. They came by 3 in the box patrol. But in the army, you can take 2 now.
Oh.
So when I'm done painting those babies,
Okay.
I'm going to move on to the Eldars.
Okay.
What changes do I make to my list? Because right now we said 160 points above.
Do you have it written anywhere?
Yes, I do. It's written on my phone.
You want to email it to me? Email me your list, and then we'll throw it up here.
The name of the list is Yes, Queen.
Yes.
Yes, Queen. Well, you said we can drop Eldrad. We did not have Eldrad, so...
Well, yeah, I don't remember quite what's in your list, so if you can... Did you email it to me? No.
So do you think... Do you think... I forgot my question. Clearly it was not important. I read a work text and then my brain just went blank.
Do 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 do
Yup.
do.
Welcome in my brain.
All right. So what's your question?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But I can tell you that 70Q has been down for several hours if you want.
Is that
A problem? Yeah. Do we have a solution? Everything that can be fixed is not broken. We have established that when we could fix things with glue and then they were not broken. Hey Sean, I am editing tonight the Sisters on Sisters game with Brad, and I'm going to post it tonight because I think it is way too sad that this video goes to YouTube purgatory and it's never seen by people who are depressed and want to get out of their depression again.
Yeah.
That game was so fucking funny.
Oops. That was a pretty funny game.
I'm actually pretty intrigued to rewatch that game.
And see how silly you were.
No, and see, actually, when we were wondering at what turn we were, and I thought we were on 3, and he thought we were on 4, what turn were we actually on?
I can only imagine.
I am actually genuinely intrigued to know what turn we were on.
So speaking of turns and making adult decisions, what do you want for dinner?
Wow.
Because right now it's going on 8 p.m.
You're asking a lot of very hard questions. So.
The impossible questions. Should I do a poll? What should Eloise have for dinner? For the one person watching the vote. You do charcuterie. I don't know if you have any leftovers.
We do.
You could do your hummus and ham.
Hummus and ham sounds pretty good.
Okay. In all fairness, we have been streaming for 2 hours and 45 minutes.
I'm getting extremely close to hitting the fuck it point.
Oh. So what you're saying is we should get you some food.
Or do anything that is not painting. You know, I'm reaching that point where the paint does not quite go where I want it to go, and I'm like, nah, fuck it.
Then you should stop. Look at me. Then you should stop.
Yes.
You've made a lot of progress, so you shouldn't feel bad about the amount of progress you've done.
I don't feel bad about the amount of progress I've done. I just want it to be done.
Well, it's not going to be done.
Be done.
It's not going to be done. All right, let's go. Do you want to get food, or do you want to keep painting for a little bit longer? All right. All right. Show off your work.
So today we have done gold. We have done gold on. Ooh, let's make it. Yay! There you go. We have done gold on Paragon Warsuit number 1, Paragon Warsuit number 2, Paragon Warsuit number 3, and all of the weapons. We have done gold on a Celestial Saracens. We have done gold on a Repentia Superior. We have done gold on the Repentia Superior because I still hope that the Repentias are going to be great again. Make Repentias great again!
I still think they're pretty good.
They're not!
They don't hit like a ton of bricks like they used to, but they're not bad.
But they're T3-1 wound. If they don't hit like a ton of bricks, then they're dead. We have put gold on half of a Seraphim. I still need to finish some of the wings. And we have put gold on Random Scarf on the Canoness, and then I gave up. True. True. Like, if you look, only her scarf is painted. And then the rest is like,
You're just
nah,
like, nah. Yeah.
nah.
I think with that being said, I think you should take a break. Let's go regroup and get dinner, and then maybe we could come back down and paint, or maybe we could go do something else.
We shall see.
So how do you feel about your first stream?
There was way more boobs than I thought there would be.
Your first hobby stream. All the boobs. Okay. It's reasonable.
Wait, I'm going to scoot everybody that way. There you go. Not bad.
Not bad.
I know, tons of bricks are nothing. Like, everybody's T3-1 wound. If they don't hurt you bad, they are not worth their point.
I mean, they did overcorrect on them. I will give you that. I think if they would have had one more attack, I think they'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
I think just either a way to give them one more attack by like a command phase, like I nominate you to have one more attack, or just have their base profile having one more attack. One thing that you need to keep in mind too, which is something I've noticed, is you need to stop forgetting about the +1 to hit if you take energy casualties.
Yes, I always... Yes.
Because a +1 to hit and +1 to wound is a pretty solid buff.
It is.
So
and that's why we practice.
Yep. So what did I work on? All right, so...
Put Le Screen on you.
Yeah, let me try.
Le Screen.
Le Screen. Alright.
And I'm going to finish that Seraphim while you do that because I feel bad for leaving her.
Just leaving that one Seraphim.
Oh!
Oh, she did it again.
It fell on my head, not on my boobs this time. I mean...
We're going to have to mount the camera in a way where it doesn't...
Well, the thing is, I want it to remain flexible so that you can put it here when you're streaming.
Anywho, what did I do today? So... I am wrapping up building 10 of the Infernus Marines, I think they're called now. The guys with flamers. So this is the baseline build. I have some conversion ideas that I want to do for them, but we'll do that off camera just because it's loud and obnoxious.
What is?
While you were upstairs, letting the dogs out. What I want to do is I want to take a piece of brass rod drilled in here. And then, you know how I did with the Crisis Suit Flamer for the diorama?
Mm-hmm.
I want to have a piece of brass rod sticking out and then use hot glue gun to make flames.
Nice.
So just give them a little more texture.
I think you should do that on stream so that Mr. Rice can see how cool that drill is. That drill. That drill.
The one that you sent him and he didn't use?
No, but it's a really, really cool drill.
Actually, I'll probably record a video of that. Because it's just loud.
Fair.
So I have 10 of those built. I modified the backpacks of all the stern guard that I built and put skulls on their guns. So like you can see this guy, he has a skull there with the jawbone down here. Modified their backpacks so they have skulls on the back of their backpacks. It's super... So skulls back here, and then they have a skull in the front. I made sure they were all equipped the same. So the sergeant historically had a combi melta, and I just made it into a regular stern guard bolter because commie weapons on stern guard aren't that good. So I did that for 5. I updated this guy's backpack, and then I took 2 intercessors that I had before and threw some heavy bolter parts on them. So these intercessors, I'm going to do a little more conversion work, like add some. All right, there we go. It's catching back up. There we go. Alrighty. Well, we'll have to do a hardline connection.
It doesn't change a thing because it's the connection to the outside word.
That's fair. So yeah, so I got a lot done. I'm pretty happy. I'll probably come back down after dinner and start working again.
Me too.
Alright.
But I don't think I'm going to do gold.
Okay. Well, we're going to call it that. Thank you, too, for joining us. We'll get these videos merged together, and I think tomorrow we're going to try to play a game. We'll get these videos merged together, and I think tomorrow we're going to try to play a game. Practice using the streaming equipment for that. But have a good night, gentlemen. Thank you for hanging out with us the last couple hours. Appreciate it.
You guys have a good night.